Hello everybody. Thought I'd give you a quick shot of the ash seedlings that are going to take part in the root over rock fusion project. Yeah, they're growing really well, quite happily with those. Similarly around this rock, growing away very healthily, didn't mind being transplanted in the slightest. In fact, I don't even think they noticed that they'd moved from one pot to another. So yeah, almost time to revisit my ash seedlings root over rock project. Sitting here in the greenhouse as they are, take this weed out, but yeah, they are growing for the most part really healthily. I do have one very sickly looking one here, which I think I might have to replace, but I do have some more seedlings, so I should be able to do that quite easily. The other one is likewise, the trees are growing really well, so yeah, going to be doing something with those soon. Okay, so it's early June. These young ash seedlings have been growing away nicely. I did have to replace the one in the front just here. It withered and died. Didn't do well with the transplanting process. So, but that's okay. I mean, it obviously was a weak tree, and it was better to kind of weed it out at the beginning and lose it along the way, I guess. What I'm going to do today is just, I want these trunks to grow flat against the rock. Once they're sort of set in position flat against the rock, I can worry about whether I cross things over or leave them as they are. But for now, what I want to do is just try and persuade them, at least at at this point along the base, that leaning against the rock is a good plan. So I'm going to use some grafting tape, and hopefully I can just do it without doing any damage and bruising the trunks too much. I mean, they aren't fully hard yet, they're still a little bit sappy, so I'm going to have to be very gentle, but we'll try. Okay, here's a quick glimpse of the 3-trunked clump style fused birch trees, grown away very nicely, and I am literally just giving them a bit of a haircut just to stop them getting too tall, and promote some nice side shoots and things, just to keep it into that nice little canopy, and achieve that ramification. Not enough to make a video of it on its own, so I'm slotting that in somewhere. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick 360. Another piece there. So just forming an overall canopy, vaguely triangular canopy. Yeah, looking good, I think. So the other clumps in this playlist, I'm not doing anything with at the moment. I'm just allowing them to grow as freely as they wish, so we won't look at those at this one. So back to your previous video. Okay, so here's my grafting tape, and the wonders of video editing means that you haven't just had to watch me to spend 10 minutes trying to find the end, which is nice. well, nice for you, it was a bit boring for me. So I'm just basically going to, as gently as I can, start wrapping this around the trees. It's not going to cooperate, things rarely do. Again, this is one of those jobs where I almost need 3 hands, and where there's an outward curve for the trees to sit snugly against a rock, it's going to work much better than where there's an inward one, but that's better. Now we got it started. I can avoid getting trapped into the rim of the pot. What I don't want to do is trap any of the leaves. I'm going to work my way up as high up as I can, being careful not to squash, because that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to squash any of these trunks and bruise them if I can possibly help it. Okay, so just very gently. I'm also trying to make sure that there's a gap at the bottom where water can leach through. So I don't want water to sit too much in between the tape and the rock. Now, there is a danger of that, but what I think I might do is pierce some extra holes just to allow a little bit of the water to escape. Okay, so that's probably about as much as I really want to do to these trees today, because I am starting to hit into the first set of leaves. Do have some gaps here and there, but that can be taken care of at a later date. As long as I've got the majority, I think is the most important thing. It's possible I may be able to just slide a piece of bamboo or something. I might try, or a matchstick. I might fit a couple of matchsticks just behind this grafting tape where there is a gap, where the trees aren't touching the rock. That's an idea. We'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so we're going to, excuse my arm, let the tools cooperate, that's it. And we'll just snip that so that I can find the end later. So I have another one of these to do. Yeah, I'm going to get a couple of matchsticks or bits of wood or something, and I will just tuck under that, but I'll do that off camera and move on to the next tree. Okay, so here's the next candidate. You'll notice I say tree when I talk about these fusion projects. That's because in my mind they're already a fused tree, single entity, rather than lots of little trees. I don't know if that's the right way to look at it or not, but regardless, that's the way my mind is kind of working. So exactly the same. I'm just going to wrap this around the base of the trunk, tying in these wayward little trees, all of which survived this time, which was nice. A little bit more tricky because there's less room around the edge of the pot. Let's start again. So I let go the end of the tape What I don't want to do is stretch out too much tape off the roll and get into a tangle, but I do need to. That's better. Now I've got hold of the end. And again, there's a tree here that isn't going to sit sweetly into that crevice very easily, but I think I can just put something there that'll hold it. This is working quite nicely, holding this tree against a rock, and this stuff is gentle enough that it should allow the trees a little bit of stretch to grow, and so that's good. Like I say, my main worry is, will I get some rot? But as I've never tried this before, honestly, I couldn't say. Okay, so snip that off, and there we have the trees sitting tightly against the base of the rock. Now, let's move you in closely so you can see that a bit better. Hopefully you can see that those trees are now lying snugly against the face of the rock. Obviously they've got a lot of growing to do before they get to the top, and we can begin the fusion process, but I've got plenty of time, hopefully, and as an ongoing project it'll keep me busy for years to come. Now I can't remember whether I showed you this in the last making of video when I initially put together the ash root over rock projects, but I had a lot of seedlings, and what I've also done is fill this pan. This is a half-size seed tray with basically a rough, well, oval more than circle, with a gap in the middle here. Let's see if I can tip you up, and you can see there's a little apple in there, falling off the apple tree, a couple of them. So yeah, so there's a rough circle in there. I'm just going to let these trees grow, do their own thing for the next year or so, and then maybe I'll find a piece of foam or something that I can fit into the middle to create a form. We'll already have a sort of its own little root mass here, and we'll try and form a tree in that way. So might seem a bit mad, but you know, I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge of trying to create these fusion trees, and as you can see, I have a lot of seedlings. I still have a few left over. I have a similar amount of field maple seedlings, which I've done nothing with yet this year, that I need to look at as well. So if you can get them and you can get some seedlings going, you know, you can have your own little collection of an ash forest, or several small ash bonsai trees, or grow them on to be larger trees, and it pays your money, it takes your choice, I guess. Anyway, enough prattling on for this video. Thank you for watching. Please take care of yourselves. Stay safe.